Hello, hello. I'm so glad you're back. I'm Maggie O with Homeschool with Maggie O, your homeschool mentor. Welcome back to our continuation of our math curriculum review series, where we are looking at several different math curriculums to review. And today we're looking at one of the longtime classics in Christian homeschooling, and that's Abeka Math. It's a classic. Abeka is a complete Christian curriculum company, but today we're focusing specifically on its math component, its math program. This is also one of the programs in our series that can carry a student through the elementary years and into high school math. Abeka takes a structured, traditional approach to math with continual review of previously learned concepts. It also offers families different ways to use the curriculum. So you can teach the curriculum completely yourself using the parent led materials, or families can use the video instruction that's offered through Abeka Academy. So you kind of have a couple of different options. And you would also want to look at those price points on that as well. I'm going to give you just a simple look at how the math sequence is structured and what using the curriculum involves. And then we'll run through it through the Maggie O curriculum fit lens and talk specifically about who may find this approach to be a particularly good fit. So let's take a look and let me share my screen. And so this is taking us directly to the Abeka homepage. Okay. And so I'm going to kind of run through it just a little bit. Um, I'm beginning, I don't know that we'll really, I'm just going to kind of go through and show you how to navigate this. I will say of the websites, it's not hard to navigate, but you just kind of have to take your time and look through it. So let's kind of go through this. Let me get through. And as I said, you can start it from the very beginning and go all the way through into your high school age ages and take you through high school. Um, another important distinction about Abeka is that it is explicitly Christian. The company describes mathematics as reflecting the truth and order God built into creation. So this isn't simply a secular math curriculum sold by a Christian company. The Christian worldview is part of Abeka's overall educational philosophy for families specifically looking for faith integrated curriculum that may be an important consideration. And for families looking for a secular curriculum, this is obviously something they need to understand before choosing Abeka. I just want to say that up front so that you understand that. And I am getting back to, okay, there's my notes. I just wanted to get back to my notes. So the first thing that you'll notice, here's the main page, and you go across this top here, hover over your mouse over the shop, and you'll see that you can shop by subjects. And then over here, shop by product. Here is your video single subject, video lessons on demand. This is where you're going to find that video part that I was mentioning. But I'm just going to click into the arithmetic math page first so that you can see what this looks like and see how it progresses right away. It'll start you at the very beginning, learning numbers with Button Bear, and then you just, excuse me, come all the way down. It progresses naturally through the grades, and there's quite a bit. Always make sure that you are on the exact product that you are wanting, because that's one thing about Abeka. They have a lot to offer for any grade level. And right now, this is just the math. This isn't any of the other products that they offer, but I'm just kind of like bringing, I'm not going to go through every one of these. I just kind of want to get you to see the scope of this website when searching for math. Um, so I'm going to pick one. I'm going to probably go like to fourth grade, let's just say. Let's see here. And notice like this one, it's arithmetic 3 teacher key. That's just the key for the teacher, for the mom that's teaching it. Here's just the book just for the quizzes, tests, and speed drills. Um, and so always, like I said, make sure you can buy them individually. Like you could do the And I'm still in grade 3 right here. You can see it just goes on and on. There's a digital teaching slide. There's lots of supplementals that go along with their programs. So here we're at grade 4, arithmetic child kit. So always make sure when you're looking, it says homeschool only. If we click on that, you'll get the pricing here. But when you scroll down, it talks about the details here and then other things that you can buy. And again, this is other subject matter. We're focusing on math. But if you click on the kit contents, that's where you're going to find more information as far as what they're giving you in um, and they want us to select an option above to see the kit. So I thought I'd already done that. So let's go back. I'm going to go back here just a minute. Give me just 1 minute. Again, this is just the Arithmetic 4 book. This is the Homeschool Arithmetic 4 curriculum lesson plans. Here is the Arithmetic 4 teacher key, just the teacher key. Here are the Arithmetic 4 test drills and more testing and quizzes. And then Homeschool Arithmetic teaching charts. So these are like supplemental um, type things that you can get with the curriculum. Here is the digital slides, which is kind of cool. Concept cards, rapid calculation practice, rapid calculation drills A, and then it just goes on. But I wanted to back up one here because at the bottom here was oops, excuse me. Here is our arithmetic video instruction. So you could look into that and see if that's a good fit for your family. If you want to teach it all yourself, obviously you would get the teacher kit. That is the books, your workbooks, your quizzes, your answer key, everything. And then you can also come back over here and when you go into single subject video, you can go into math and you'll start to find the different math video components that are offered. And this is if you don't want to teach it yourself. I mean, here's an arithmetic 1 video instruction, homeschool only, which was what we were looking at a minute ago. So you have this option and it progresses all the way through. And I would just encourage you to spend some time going through this site. Um, you'll have to also decide if cost that the cost could be a little bit inhibitive to you, but that you'll just have to make that choice for yourself. But you would just start with your shop and go in through your arithmetic, and then you just start going into it. This for the little ones, you can go in here and it's going to tell you about the product. Consumers who purchased this item also purchased, and I am still not seeing samples. Let's see, questions. Um, and then there's so there's all kinds of things, and you can kind of get overwhelmed in this site, I find, but there is a lot to do here. In the homeschool specific, you've got the academy, you have resources here, parent led materials, and homeschool materials. And they also have a full academy. So today we were just looking at the math. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and we'll get back to putting this through my Maggie O curriculum fit lens. So let's talk about learning style fit first. Visual learners, it's a strong potential fit, particularly in the elementary years. Abeka does use colorful student materials and visual presentation, which makes it fun and nice for little ones. The video option can add another strong visual component. For an auditory learner, potentially strong, particularly with parent-led instruction or the Abeka Academy video lessons. Students hear mathematical concepts explained rather than relying entirely on reading a textbook independently. For your reading and writing learners, strong potential fit. There is substantial written practice and a traditional textbook or work text component. For your hands-on and kinesthetic learners, this is where I would look a little bit more carefully. There can certainly be hands-on teaching activities, and we can always supplement, particularly with young children, but hands-on manipulatives are not the central defining feature of the entire Abeka Math sequence. A child who needs significant physical interaction with math and may need additional supplementation, I would kind of give some caution there. Independent learners, this depends greatly on which Abeka option you choose. The traditional parent led program requires more direct teaching on your part. And then the Abeka Academy video option can provide significantly more instructional independence, particularly for the older students. So let's talk a little bit about the unique learners. For students who benefit from repetition and continual review, I see strong potential here with Abeka. And especially if you're wanting a Christian worldview, this could be a great option for you. The spiral approach means previously introduced skills continue to return. Remember, we talked about that early on, whether it be mastery or spiral based. And this is a more spiral based. So you're going to not only get new concept, but you're still going to see, previous content coming back. So for children who need routine and predictability, the structured format may be beneficial. And for some students with ADHD, that structure can be helpful. For others, the amount of repetition, the written practice, the drills, and longer traditional lessons may become difficult to sustain unless you're able to adapt that for your rhythm in your homeschool. For students who struggle with working memory, continual review may help previously learned skills, help keep them active in their minds. However, a student who becomes overwhelmed by a large amount of written work may need thoughtful adaptation on that. Not to say you can't do it, you can, but it would need to be adapted on your end. For students with significant math learning disabilities, I would evaluate whether the pace and traditional instructional style provide enough individualized support. And again, no curriculum is automatically the right fit based solely on a diagnosis. So for philosophies, traditional or school at home, very strong fit. This is where I see one of Abeka's most natural alignments. It provides structured lessons, clear academic progression, written assignments, regular assessment, and traditional educational format. Christian homeschool, very strong for these families, specifically seeking an explicitly Christian worldview, like I said earlier. If your approach is more classical, potentially a good fit for classical families who value structure, memorization, repetition, skill development, and academic rigor. Eclectic, absolutely possible. You can just select it if you want. If you were thinking this was a great math, curriculum for your family, you can totally maybe select Abeka for your math, and they can use it without using for families. Families can use Abeka for math without using Abeka for everything else. Is the point I'm trying to make? Sorry, I'm getting tongue tied today. Relaxed, child led, or unschooling. Probably a weaker natural fit unless the family significantly adapts this program. Abeka is intentionally structured and sequential. The parent involvement for the traditional parent led version, moderate to high with Abeka. You are actively teaching and managing the curriculum. For Abeka Academy video instruction, if you use it that way, lower direct teaching involvement. But parents still need to supervise and monitor the progress. And so Abeka gives families more flexibility in this area than some traditional textbook programs. The strongest fit with Abeka, I would put Abeka high on the research list for a child who benefits from repetition and continual review, a child who likes structure and predictability, a family that wants a traditional approach to math, a Christian family looking for faith integrated curriculum, a parent who wants a complete planned sequence, a family that values regular assessment and measurable progress, and a family that wants the option of either parent led or video instruction. And families who would like the possibility of staying with one curriculum company throughout the entire homeschool journey from the beginning all the way through high school. Look more carefully. I would investigate more carefully if your child becomes frustrated by repetition. Your child needs strongly mastered based approach focused on one concept for an extended period of time. If your child is overwhelmed by significant written practice, your child needs a highly hands on, manipulative centered curriculum. You want a secular curriculum, or your homeschool philosophy is strongly child led and you don't want a traditional homeschool style, traditional school style structure. So, for final comparison on Abeka, I would say Abeka adds another important category to our math curriculum library. This is our first review in the series of a long-standing, comprehensive Christian curriculum that offers a traditional academic approach and can continue through high school. Its defining features are structured, spiral review, repetition, traditional skill development, a Christian worldview, and the option of parent-led or video instruction. That makes the experience very different from Math with Confidence, which is shorter and more hands on, different from Math Mammoth, which places the teaching directly into the student's work text, and different from My Academy, which is built around customizable online learning. Again, none of those differences automatically make one better. They simply help us identify fit. So that's our look at Abeka Math. My biggest takeaway, I would say, is that this is a strong option to research for families who want that structured, traditional Christian math curriculum with continual review and a clear academic progression. The ability to choose between parent led and video instruction also gives families flexibility in how they actually use this program. And it gives you kind of the option to do either or both. But if your child needs a gentler, less repetitive, highly hands on, or less traditional approach, I would compare Abeka carefully with some of the other options we've reviewed. So, I'm Maggie O with Homeschool with Maggie O, your homeschool mentor. And remember, we are not looking for the curriculum with the most recognizable name. We're looking for the curriculum that best fits the child or children sitting right in front of us. I'll see you in our next math curriculum review. Until next time, happy homeschooling.